Hi, guys. There is a disturbing story coming out of Boston. So, apparently, a young lady, apparently she's white, was wearing braids and going through Boston through a little area. And the 911 caller said about 10 teenage girls attacked her while calling her white expletive, girl with braids. Why are you wearing braids? And so they proceeded to beat her up, and she ended up in the hospital, and now this case is being taken up by the civil rights unit because this is looked upon as a potential hate crime. And something came up to me in that when you go on TikTok and sometimes you have white women that wear braids, there's a lot of angry comments in there about cultural appropriation, a lot of different things. And that has not sat well with me as a black man, even though I'm not a black woman, because it tends to be that we're saying that we're policing what another set of people can wear. And I can't see any justification for that. I'm from Jamaica originally, where there are some set of black men who are called themselves Rastafarians, real Rastafarians. And these Rastafarians, they have a set of beliefs. Then some guys just took up this type of fashion as a trend, and they are called dreads. And it was understood that not all men with long locks were Rastafarians. The original guys were Rastafarians, and to them, these locks were religious. But they're guys who just wore it because it was a fashion accessory. And today, the same thing is happening among black women. They're wearing their hairs in locks, some of them braids, some of them weaves. And why is it that there's this intended monopolization on wearing braids? And I'm not saying all black women, because my sisters, my wife, the people in my family would never do anything like this. So I know that this is only a certain set of women who seem to be showing their insecurities. And the world knows that it is their insecurities. Why would you go after someone wearing something, having the freedom to wear it and enjoying themselves? Because when you look at it, I grew up with my mother and my sisters processing their hair to be straight. They're black. And no one ever batted an eye and said this was cultural appropriation. I don't see any issue with that, because the fact of the matter is, it's your head. You're paying for the chemicals to put in it. The chemicals are legal, so therefore you go to the hairdresser, and the hairdresser applies it. You come out with the hairstyle that you want. Why is it that white women can't have that same benefit of doing that without being harassed by some folks? This is something serious in itself, because we have to catch ourselves in what we're doing, because you can't go from a victim status to an oppressor status, because once you start to do that, the same laws that we all fought for are the same laws that will be used against us when we start to do that. And yes, this could be a hate crime, because you are attacking these teens. Could have potentially be attacking this young lady based on her race, and based on the fact that they don't believe that she should not be allowed to have the freedom to have her hair in the way in which she wants it. This is not something that I think should be taken lightly. A lot of us should stop policing other people, and we saw this with bonnets. Some young white women are deciding to wear bonnets. Why is there some stigma around that? I even have a video about that. We should not be policing what other people wear. Mind your own business, because what's happening now is that this type of sentiment is going to teenagers. And there's another thing about that. Why are these teenagers roving the streets? Because if you read further into the news, you'll see that there's a whole bunch of teenagers in Boston, in certain areas, who are roving the streets and creating a havoc. And this is going to create more problem for them. And I would like to say something to many black women, that these type of instances don't help the image, because I see this with black men all the time. This type of aggressive image. And I'm not only talking about just in the streets, I'm talking also about even on online, going and writing these nasty comments about people, what they wear, how they choose to dress. That's not our place. Our place is to mind our own business and do what it is that makes us feel happy, and be content or ignore when other people are doing the same thing. We cannot continue this cognitive dissonance, because the world is watching and they do see that we're being hypocrites by telling another set of people what they can and cannot wear. Because if someone else told us that, then we'd cry racism in a second. Thanks, guys.